Hi, my name is Holly Ansell, and this is my presentation on the hormone ghrelin. Ghrelin, famously known as the hunger hormone, is a GI peptide that is secreted by the stomach and acts on the brain to increase food intake. Ghrelin is predominantly synthesized in the inferior endocrine cells of the GI. It is most abundant in the oxyantic mucosa of the stomach. Brain site ghrelin synthesis also occurs in the hypothalamus, although overall peptide levels are much lower than in the stomach. Ghrelin is regulated by chronic or acute nutritional status changes. During food restriction conditions, an elevation in plasma ghrelin level is observed. Conversely, during a fed state, low levels of the ghrelin hormone is found. This strongly suggests that ghrelin plays a physiological role in hunger and meal initiation. Another regulating factor for gastric ghrelin release is the composition of the diet. This is because the satiating capacity depends on the nature of the different macronutrients in the food. Carbohydrates cause a more potent inhibitory effect than fat on gastric and plasma ghrelin levels. Macronutrients, amino acids, and lipids act directly on the ghrelin producing of the stomach to regulate gastric ghrelin release. It has been found that exposure to food-related sensory stimuli without actual food intake is also able to modify gastric ghrelin secretion and its circulating levels in the same way as true feeding does. Regulation of ghrelin secretion from the stomach by food-related stimuli is mediated by the medium-term memory mechanism from the sensory neural system, which is integrated into the enteric nervous system. Ghrelin interacts with many hormonal systems, which can be seen through exploring the physiological actions of ghrelin. Gastric ghrelin regulates the energy balance acting at different levels and through different mechanisms. The regulation of growth hormone secretion, adiposity, gastric acid secretion, gut motility. It plays an important role in anorexic behaviors on appetite stimulation and regulation of body weight. Ghrelin regulates glucose homeostasis through inhibition of insulin secretion and regulation of hepatic glucose output. Ghrelin signaling regulates energy homeostasis by decreasing the thermogenesis to reduce energy expenditure. Ghrelin also has cardioprotective effect in the heart and antiatrophic effect in the muscles. Ghrelin also regulates bone formation and bone metabolism. This diagram shows the cell signaling pathways that are activated when the ghrelin receptor is activated. Ghrelin acts at GHS1A receptors in the hypothalamus and pituitary to activate two signal transduction pathways. On the left of the diagram, we see that ghrelin increased calcium through the adenylyl cyclase protein kinase A pathway in the NPY expressing cells of the arcuate nucleus. And on the right, we see this is done through the phosphorylase C protein kinase C, PLC PKC pathway in the pituitary. Ghrelin can also inhibit vascular inflammation through the activation of CAMKK and also AMP activated protein kinase and endothelial nitric oxide synthesis. AMPK together with ACC and fatty acid synthesis also mediate ghrelin increase in food intake in relation to fasting, which we can see in the middle of the diagram. Prader-Willi syndrome is a disease in which ghrelin function is altered. PWS is the most common form of human syndromic obesity. It is a complex genetic disorder characterized by mild mental retardation, hyperphagia, short stature, muscular hypotonia, and distinctive behavioral features. High plasma ghrelin concentration and growth hormone is observed in PWS patients. Because ghrelin affects appetite as well as growth hormone secretion, and both are abnormal in PWS, it is hypothesized that this condition might involve ghrelin dysregulation. Ghrelin may be responsible in part for hyperphagia seen in PWS, which also causes progressive severe obesity, which then in turn leads to an increase in cardiovascular morbidity and mortality. Thank you.